Welcome to week 22 session review of my Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. The party takes Maloon's body and the Azure Edge to Blackstaff. She awards them with a Wand of Secrets, as well as increases their faction renown with the Grey Hands. They headed home for a good night of sleep before going to see Isme's grandmother and her family that live in Waterdeep. Isme comes downstairs after worrying and pacing for a good part of the morning, while the rest of the gang had already eaten breakfast and kind of just hung around waiting for her to finally come downstairs. The second-hand six all agreed to go with her to visit her grandmother's villa. The villa was a beautiful home in the Sea Ward. When they first got into the mansion, Wirt found that the butler, though he looked human, had a scent that smelled like a changeling, but not quite the same. Remember this, as it's important for a mistake later that's made mostly because of me. They walk into the foyer and see a picture of a family, and the women all look exactly like Isme except for the hair and the unicorn horn, obviously. So at this point, I want to talk about using your players' feelings. I asked how Isme felt right now. Break that barrier of what we do as humans and make the players share the feelings out loud, right? Some of them will go, I'm okay, I guess, not really go deep dive, but some, for example, like some players like Isme or Danny, they just need that door to open up for them, because players like them will usually let everyone else have the floor, but I really enjoy it when I get these moments out of her specifically, because what she says and response has always been some of my favorite parts of being a DM in this game. She goes into the complex emotions of being joyful of seeing her family, but being mad at her mom for keeping her away all this time, while she peels more and more of the layers of this emotional onion, right? It feeds me with more and more ideas and willingness and wanting to dive deeper into her character as well with her. The players will start to dive into the game more, and it will make you want to dive into the game more. It will start making you both want to dive deeper into the characters, and will both enrich the game more and more. This will also open up opportunities to give the players more ways to drive the game, more than just we will go to sleep at this time, we're going to go to sleep in this dungeon, in this room. They will start to drive your prep and how you tell your story, as well as everyone else gets more out of it by asking them about how they feel in the moment and let them be able to tell you, right? Because you're opening up more with the players, opening up more with the characters. Alma in jail, the grandmother and grandfather of Isme, come down the stairs and speaks to her and invites them to brunch. Alma and the rest of the family were quite kind to Isme, and Isme had a lot of questions, and she learned a lot about her mother, a lot that were, kind of added to that confusion that she feels. In this order about Warwick, Doc, and Draven were all not the best behaved. Draven at one point tried to reprehend Doc with a cantrip, and then he retaliated with another cantrip and just made a very embarrassing exchange that left, I think, only Draven worried, and I think Isme horrified with what was happening at the table at this very nice meal. The kids at the table enjoyed it a bit, but Isme not so much. The meal was finished, and most of the group played hide and go seek with the kids. The kids did warn them not to go too deep, them not to go into the back of the stables. They weren't allowed back there. The guards always found the kids when they hid back there. And Doc did some recon during the game, but found out it was just normal stable. they figured it was probably the parents being cautious, as, kids going into a stable with horses is kind of dangerous. Kick to the face will kill a kid. While they played with the kids, Work smelled something that he knew. He couldn't tell exactly what it was, but he decided to follow it, and it took him to the second floor, and he found the smell again, and he figured out that it was charcoal and a smell of the blue tiefling that now he's realizing doesn't smell like any other tiefling that he encountered in this world before. I want to talk about smells being confusing. So Work took both the smells and started smashing them together. The one that he found upstairs about the blue tiefling, and also the about the butler being something similar to a changeling, and started mashing them both up together like they had to be connected, but they weren't. And I tried to explain this to him, but it was like I couldn't do it. It wasn't coming across right, and it took a while to explain it, and I didn't really have a good way to do it other than just spell it out for him in a message of the day. I literally just told him, hey, these two smells don't matter, which I wrote up for him in the next thing, and hopefully that makes sense, because it confused him so much, because I brought up Bonnie. It kind of smelled like something, so he started asking them about the Bonnie, and it just confused the situation even more and more. And so I presented it in obviously a confusing manner, and I need to make sure I don't do that again. I do this a lot through this campaign where I have explained something and it has come across the players as confusing. It has sent them down a odd track, or they got stuck in something in the mind. And normally I would let it play out, but especially because of how off he was, I had to try to figure out some way to get it across. So I got to get better at that. Something that I just am still lacking as a DM, and descriptions and stuff like that. After they all finish up playing hide and go seek, the grandparents offer them to stay the night and go out on one of their boats next morning to have a day of sailing. And they agreed. They're woken up about 5 a.m. And headed to the dock ward and set sail. They find they employ some non-human people, and they start asking questions in presence of Silverhand's tiefling and of Bonnie. Again, kind of adding to the confusion. Bonnie was never here, but to jail, and he told them that he didn't know anything about tiefling or Bonnie, but did explain to him that he was in talks with Silverhand about some things. He did have correspondence between her and him. On the boat trip, everything was going normal for a good while, until Vengeance noticed a boat raising out of the water, and it rammed into the gala. And it rammed into the gala from underneath the water and surfaced like a submarine with a magical shell around the boat, with the boat hand screaming about how their ship was starting to gather water, and the players rolled initiative and started to prepare for a battle on the high seas. But that's also where I ended the session. So that's it for now. So please let me know in the comment section down below if you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with friends. And like always, have a beautiful day. Bye.